The Proposal. Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds faked the relationship so she didn't get deported to Canada.
Okay, I like that. I didn't think it was like a strong reason to fake a relationship.
What?
Well, no, it is.
What do you mean? This kid just wants tuition, and Sandra Bullock's almost gonna get deported, and you're like, I don't know.
You're right. You've
I'm
sold
on Dave's
me.
side.
Never mind.
Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind Podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Devin.
And like you, I love rewatching movies over and over again.
You're here, you found us, you love romantic comedies. We do as well.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
Today we have a series.
We do.
XO Kitty. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever, leave a review. And if you want to reach out about anything on the Rom-Com Rewind Podcast, you want to share your opinions, we love that. We love to hear from you. Instagram, at Rom-Com Rewind.
We have a message this week from Alexa. She said, I am currently listening to your Bend It Like Beckham episode. And I just have to say that Zach's dance from High School Musical 2 is iconic, and there is no cringe. It defined a generation just as much as the Mean Girls dance did.
Absolutely not.
I love how you're so against it. I mean, I get it. High School Musical, like that series was iconic.
Yeah, okay. To be clear, just, the topic of conversation was that in Bend It Like Beckham, there's like a really awkward nightclub dance sequence moment that we're like, okay, retroactively looking back at this is very cringe. At the time, we're like, hey, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But now we can, in 2020 vision, be like, that sucked. Same as, I know we all love it, Save the Last Dance. That last dance was bad, guys. Like, it was not good. And 13 going on 30, though, the Thriller dance, that was amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say,
lovely.
that still stands the test of time. I liked that dance.
There's a line somewhere in the sand. I understand, Alexa, you're on the other side of the line.
Oh my God.
With Zach from High School Musical 2, but I'm on this side where I
Again.
think that's cringe.
I just want to clarify, Devin is on that side.
So today we're doing something a little bit different. And listen, we're doing a new Netflix rom-com series, but a lot of the conversations we're going to have in this episode are just rom-coms in general. So even if, you're not into this thing exactly, or maybe you're unsure, it's okay. We're not going to spoil too much. And we're just going to have a fun time chatting about romantic comedy content, I guess is what we could call it, because XO Kitty is a brand new Netflix romantic comedy series. It's a spinoff of the To All the Boys series, which was written by Jenny Han. This is also stamped by Jenny Han. The original film trilogy was the story of Laura Jean. Lara Jean, my bad. This is the story of her younger sister, Kitty Song Covey, played by Anna Cathcart. Kitty is dating this guy she met in South Korea named Dae. He does come up in conversation in the original movie trilogy, not too much though. Kitty applies to go to the same school as Dae in South Korea. Kitty gets into that school, but not all goes to plan, specifically with a classic love triangle / new romance / fake romance. There are a lot of different rom-com elements smashing together in this one, as there's Dae, there's his classmate Yuri, and then there's Kitty coming onto the scene. So just overall thoughts on XO Kitty.
I know when two people are meant for each other. I felt it for Laura Jean and Peter. Hi. And I feel it for me and Dae. The Korean independent school of Seoul, the school Mom went to, is the same one Dae goes to. I applied to KISS, and I got in.
Did I just let my youngest daughter go to Korea to have sex with her boyfriend?
No. Maybe. If you want.
So we did put out a poll earlier this week, or I guess last week, to see what your thoughts on whether or not we should do something like this. And so it did come back, 60-30 split. 30-something
This
split.
is why Sarah is not allowed to do math. On
No, but it was
60-30
no,
split.
just listen.
And then what did the other people say?
It was like 60-something and 30-something %, okay? I just
that
can't
makes way
quite
more
remember
sense.
off the top of my head.
There's 60% said yes, 30% no,
Oh my
10%
God.
Sarah's just unaccounted for. You could be out anywhere in the wilderness. Sarah will not find you.
No, it was like legit 60 something percent and 34. Do you want me to get the actual numbers?
No,
okay.
it's fine.
And 60 some of you wanted to see 60% of you wanted to see what it was like for us to do an episode on this. So this is why we're doing it. We're going to see how it goes. This specific episode is episode 1 to 5.
Yeah, so we're doing the first half of XO Kitty, and like Sarah said, like there are romantic comedy series out there in the ether. There's Modern Love on Amazon Prime,
There's a
Emily
whole
in
bunch.
Paris kind of. So like we're gonna dip our toes into this. Maybe you hate it. That's totally cool. We're testing out something new, especially on our listener survey, which you can go on our Instagram account and do the listener survey. We get a lot of feedback that hey, maybe a rom-com series episode would be cool. So this is part 1 of the XO Kitty episode. So
XO Kitty, it's fun. It's light. It is on the younger side. She's in high school. She goes to, Korea to see Day, and it's promy. It's light, fun. I don't know. I'm enjoying it.
you sound like you're describing like a croissant. Or
I was just
like
about to say, I thought I was like describing something like a cheesecake.
pastry. It's very light. It's
light,
airy.
it's fun, it's yum,
subtle
it's-
notes.
Yeah, I know, or like a wine or something. No, they're not old enough to drink it. What are your thoughts, Dev?
I think it definitely, I don't watch a whole lot of content like this. I feel like it reminds me of the Wednesday series on Netflix.
Yes.
Just based on feedback I've heard of that series and then watching this. Feels like it probably feels the same, but I don't know that for sure. I don't really watch Emily in Paris. Modern Love on Amazon Prime would probably be the one that feels in my wheelhouse, and everybody listening on our RCR fam is like, yeah, of course, because you're mopey, Devin. Like, obviously. You want like
Obviously.
these really like
Yeah.
emotional love stories. But this one,
Yeah.
so it's not typically something that I would watch. It is fun and easy. Like there are parts of it that is a little bit kiddie, and then
Yeah.
pun intended. But then there are parts where I'm like, okay, like this is, I can see the trajectory of a very fulfilling journey here. Keep in mind, we're only 5 episodes in. We're halfway through.
I was going to say, you know what? There's been some twists and turns in the first 5 episodes where I've been like, oh my God, cool. Or like, oh, whoa, they went that way. Oh, wow. Like
Hold up. Did you get caught by surprise by... there was nothing that surprised me in the entire, actually, except for the
at the end of episode 3. I'm going to go through all the episodes, but at the end of episode 3, I was shocked. I was like,
yeah, that was a little bit shocking.
and then there was another part where I was like, so far I am shocked slightly.
We should isolate that sound so that anytime there's fake shock, we can just use the sound effect of Sarah be oh my God,
Damsel in distress.
wow.
Yes,
Well-
but I like it so far, and it's something that I would, if a season 2 were to come out, I would tune in. I would watch it. I would more than likely just binge it in a day because they're not super long episodes. There's, I think, 8 or 10 of them. Well, there's 10 of them. They're quick. I actually had to slow down because I knew we were only doing 5 episodes and I didn't want to get ahead of myself to confuse me for the next episode.
Oh, true. I guess that's
So I kind of
that's a good
stopped
point.
and I've been waiting, so that I can keep watching and keep taking notes. So yeah.
Well, let's dive right in.
So we'll start with the first episode. It's XO. That's the title of the, they're all acronyms. And as we get further on into this season, I don't know some of the acronyms, which means that like I'm old.
Oh, Sarah. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Okay. You keep talking.
No.
I'm going to pull it
This
up.
episode, I know what they all are.
Of
But it's
course.
like episode 5 to 10. There's like 1 or 2 of them that I have no idea what they mean. So that'll be fun for next time. Okay, so Kitty gets accepted to KISS, which is the Korean Independent School of Seoul. She's mostly doing it for her boyfriend, Dae, to be closer to him, but also to have a piece of her mom because she went there when she was in her junior year of high school. Kitty arrives and she is super optimistic, like nothing can bring her down. She misses the KISS bus from the airport to the school, so she takes public transportation to try and find the KISS school. We also meet Yuri while Kitty's crossing the street. She gets hit by a car and Yuri is inside. We find out that Yuri is famous. Her dad is a famous hotelier around the world. And her mom is actually the principal at the school, or headmaster. Kitty asks for a ride and she agrees. And it turns out that Yuri also goes to kiss. Yay, instant friend. Woo! We find out that Yuri is hanging out with somebody, but we don't know who. And we find out this along the car ride to Kiss. We do meet Day, and he's having a really hard time paying for school. We know that his mother passed away 3 years ago, and his dad, works extra hard to make sure that his kids, Day has a younger sister, to make sure that they're, good to go. But he is having a hard time paying for school. Kitty gets to school and fills out all the forms that she needs to for her campus dorm, because they didn't do that. They didn't get them, I guess, or something like that. Yuri's mother, like I said, is the headmaster, and she sits Yuri down to have a conversation, saying that while at a friend's house, she was getting too close to her other friend. While Kitty's filling out her dorm forms, she sees someone go up to the head principal and call her by her name, Gina. We find out that Gina and Kitty's mom were actually really good friends. So when Kitty has the conversation, though, Gina plays it off as if she never knew her mom, and Kitty finds that a little bit weird. We get to the welcome party and Kitty sees Day and they run and embrace, but then he tells her that he's actually dating somebody else. And we find out that that person is actually Yuri.
Dun, dun, dun. So episode 1, a lot happens.
I think to establish the storyline, right?
Kitty's in South Korea. Day's dating somebody else named Yuri. She's having a tough time too.
She is having a really tough time. I think it being so far away from everybody she knows, not really knowing anybody. The person who she goes there to see is in a relationship with somebody else. She's very, I think, lonely at this point.
It is interesting. Kind of the culture shock of this episode and this whole series. It's really, I think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about how South Korean content is having this huge boon right now, especially here in North America. Like, you look at Squid Game's Parasite won an Academy Award. I think Squid Game is like on the list of most streamed thing.
I believe so. Yeah.
Stuff worldwide.
Who knew?
I don't know how they quantify it. Snowpiercer, that series on Netflix, has a number of South Korean
and K-pop in general.
Oh my God.
The music scene.
BTS,
right?
baby, Blackpink for sure.
Yeah.
I've got a friend who guilty pleasure so into BTS.
Oh yes,
yeah, you know who it is too. Yeah, he's a big fan.
Yes,
and he works from home, so I guess he just listens to them nonstop. And you know what? No shame if that's what you like. It is just
you'd never expect this person.
Yeah. Kind of a quiet guy, loves to play soccer, video games, and BTS. Those are his hobbies. And it's wow, what an eclectic group of things you're into. But I think that's what makes this series really refreshing, XO Kitty, is that it's, it is going to be a departure culturally from what you're going to see in most romantic comedies.
And I think that's part of what I like about it. You know, it's different than anything I've seen before. And I it's a little bit refreshing, like you said.
For sure, and we should see more of it. So episode 2 then. Where do we go?
Episode 2, it's WTF. I do know what that means.
Good.
So that's a good thing.
Oh, you know what? Let's go through them real quick.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so starting from the last one, because I know you said the first ones you got, right?
Yeah.
XO, WTF.
Yep.
KISS, which is just the acronym for the school.
Correct.
TGIF.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, sure. TBH.
To be honest.
BYOB.
Yes.
TIL is episode 7.
Know that one.
Oh, Sarah.
Oh no.
It's today I learned. You see that a lot on Reddit.
Today I
stuff.
learned. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm not really on Reddit, so.
LFG.
I don't know what LFG means.
I think it's looking for group.
Looking for group.
Oh, you know SNAFU.
SNAFU. No.
Little snafu. Situation normal.
Nope.
Absolutely fucked up. Yeah, that's what it means. OTP.
Nope.
Wow, Sarah.
Over the...
One true pair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Did you look those up?
Yes, I did. I knew...
Stop.
I didn't know LFG. I didn't know OTP.
You played it off as if you knew them? How rude. Honestly.
Hey,
here I am sitting and just like embracing the fact that I don't know these, and then you're pretending as if you knew them and like patronizing me.
I was
for
trying
it.
to present myself as a content matter expert. Was not though. Definitely not.
We learned something new today, you guys.
So episode 2, where do we go?
Okay, we find out that Yuri and Day's relationship is fake.
Dun, dun, dun.
It turns out they had written.
Actually, hold on. I'm going to clip in your little shocked sound effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
It turns out that when... Oh, do you want me to do it?
No.
Oh, it was a long...
This is really funny because I'm going to do that like in post-production. So Sarah was just staring at me like,
Is this long enough?
Exactly.
Is this enough room for my shock?
I'm sure I squeezed it in there somewhere.
Okay.
Maybe multiple times.
We also find out that when Kitty filled out her forms, she had written her name down as Song Covey. So she actually put a name. I guess Song is a male's name, and she becomes Day's roommate.
She's in the male dorms,
which is a lot.
And not they. The one roommate though, Minho, who we've yet to talk about. He thinks that Kitty is a psychopath. He's like, she's stalking us. He, by the way, dude is swaggy.
He's bougie AF.
Oh my God. But like, he looks good though. He
does. Oh,
if you're
yes.
like style wise, I'm like this. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I completely agree. I used to watch these TikToks, or they used to come up on my feed all the time, of like Asian fashion on the streets.
Yeah, totally. Me too.
And they always used to put the best music to it. And then it was just like Asian fashion. Or fashion in Asia, I should say, and epic, unreal. Like when I was in China, the fashion was just so cool to see. It was awesome, like just out of this world. It was really, really neat. Kitty is about to head to the airport because she's like, I am done with being here. I don't want to be here anymore. Day runs out and has a conversation, but she also has this photo book from her mother that has all these places around the KISS campus, and she finds some of them and decides, you know what, I'm going to stay right where I am and I'm going to play this through. So she takes it as a sign that she should stay. Yuri's father has a temper, and he's, like I said, a hotelier. He's a hotel mogul. And there's a video of him yelling at his chef, and their staff goes viral. So they have to do damage control. So because Yuri has already told her mother that she is in fact dating Day, who is the chauffeur's son, they come up with the idea that Yuri's dad will do damage control by giving Day an internship at their hotel, who's someone who is less fortunate than they are, which like is so blatantly obvious and ridiculous.
It's kind of awkward, right? I didn't actually get that part of the storyline. They're like, oh, we're just gonna, like everybody hates me. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna trot this kid out onto a press conference. Yeah. And then Day like makes a joke and everybody's like, oh yes, the hotel mogul. What a nice guy. I'm like, oh, is that how easy it is?
I was like, oh, so PR. Okay, that really fixed everything really quickly.
Yeah, so that's what ends up happening. Basically, Yuri tells Day, yo, I'll pay for your school, but you need to be my eye candy, make my dad look good here. He's going to give you a job. And they have this awkward press conference, which... While the press conference is happening, back at the dorms, Kitty, Minho, and Q are all watching it, and Kitty notices how uncomfortable Day is.
And realizes.
So now she's like, that's a fake relationship.
Exactly.
Yuri and Day are not real.
Day also has to sign an NDA, which means that he can't tell Kitty the story about how they're actually in a fake relationship.
And that is episode 2, which brings us to... Can we talk about top fake relationships in romantic comedy history? Because XO Kitty, this is a tried and true formula. It's we're not actually dating, but let's pretend to date. You see it so often.
I think this one goes like very far, because I find like some of them in rom-coms, like they start out as kind of like fixing something on somebody or like being friends with them, and then they kind of like become just like a couple really quickly. Whereas this one like was like, no, you're dating me. This is what's happening. You and I are the only people who know. Like usually somebody else knows that they're in a fake relationship, you know?
Right. Well, why don't I give you the list?
All right.
Because the first one, they're the only 2 people who know because deportation is in order with the proposal. Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds faked the relationship so she didn't get deported to Canada.
Okay, I like that. I didn't think it was like a strong reason to fake a relationship.
What?
Well, no, it is in turn.
What do you mean? This kid just wants tuition and Sandra Bullock's almost going to get deported? And you're like, I don't know.
You're right. You've
I'm
sold
on Dave's
me.
side.
Never mind.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
no, hold on. It is a strong reason, but like, oh yeah, you know what? I have no case.
Yeah,
I'm
what
not
are you
even
trying
gonna
to prove
defend-
right now?
I'm not even going to defend myself.
Oh man, number 2 on the list, we're gonna do 10 things I hate about you. Heath Ledger pretends to date Julia Stiles.
To prove a point.
Well, so that Joseph Gordon-Levitt can then date the younger sister, right?
Right, and to prove that he can get her to go out, right? Like that was the whole premise.
Right.
Like to prove that she...
Well, no, wasn't he getting paid?
Yeah, he was getting paid like $200, which
Right.
is not a lot.
But he had a moral compass.
I think
here,
that's
guys.
why, like, yeah, he did. But he
No,
wanted
he
to
didn't.
date her.
He didn't until the end.
He
and
didn't
then was
until
like, oh.
yes, and he loved her.
Regardless, fake relationships so that Joseph Gordon-Levitt can get
Yeah.
laid. Thank you, Heath Ledger. Number 3 on my list, I'm going to put the original To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Remember? Laura Jean, Peter. They started, that first movie was a fake relationship.
Right. It's interesting that they use the same formula for this movie again.
Which is why I put it at number 3. It was further down my list, but I'm like, we're literally doing XO Kitty.
like, I feel like as like a Jenny Han like sequel as well as like keeping it in the same universe, they could have maybe had a little bit more creativity with the storyline of the whole fake relationship or not. Like they didn't need it. The story didn't necessarily need it. They could have done a triangle in a different way and not did a fake relationship. This is just like, my head is exploding right now because like I just realized all this.
Do we like fake relationships because we feel like it's a more of a blameless activity? Like right now, we're 5 episodes in, and I would say nobody is against Day. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yes. We all feel bad for Day at this
We
point.
all feel bad for Day. But if he was actually dating Yuri and he was like essentially cheating on Kitty, we'd be like, yo, that dude sucks.
Yes.
I hate Day.
Yes, it's like, it is. Yeah. Blameless situation.
Like, for example, one where we can lay blame on the fake relationship. Next on my list, She's All That. Freddie Prinze Jr., he just does it with a bet.
Right.
Paul Walker
You gotta love the
took
bets.
a break from racing cars and he's like, hey man, I bet you couldn't date the ugliest girl in school. Here comes, I even remember her name.
Oh my God, it was on the tip of my tongue before you said that.
Muggsy Boggs or something like that. I think that's a pro basketball player.
Her last name is Boggs.
Laney Boggs.
Laney Boggs.
I'm actually serious. I think Muggsy Boggs is a basketball player.
It sounds like somebody trudging through the mud.
Oh man. Next on the list, I got, the wedding date. We've actually had a lot of requests for this one.
Okay, so we've had an abundance of requests for this, and I say it reluctantly because we have been waiting literal years for this to go on a streaming service in Canada. We cannot find it anywhere. So we are waiting like just patiently for it to come on, and as soon as it does, we're going to do it.
I've got Just Go With It on the list.
Yes, okay.
I've got How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That was a double fake relationship.
That was a good one.
Both of them individually were faking the relationship, but neither of them realized. Can't Buy Me Love, 1987. That was a fake relationship to make him more popular. Easy A was a fake relationship.
Yep. There's another one with Sabrina the Teenage Witch. What's her name?
Yeah.
Oh
where
my
is that on
goodness.
my list?
I can't think of we've done the movie. I can't think of it right now though.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was on my list. It's not. It's You Drive Me Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, wow, I totally missed that.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That is your all-time list of best fake relationships.
I think, I agree. Those are like the iconic, and a lot of them, it's funny, are based in high school. So I like the lines that this series follows in terms of that, but I don't necessarily think, especially because To All the Boys, it needed the fake relationship. But it's still fun.
I mean, it is interesting. Easy A, it wasn't really fake relationships either. It was like she was fake sleeping with guys.
Right, to get gift cards.
And to just like subvert expectations, I guess, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, the gift cards.
But there was also
The gift cards.
Oh, so Heath Ledger can get paid and we just ignore that. But
No. I like the gift cards. She's getting paid too.
oh man. So episode 3 then of XO Kitty
Right. And
gives us a big reveal.
episode 3 is called Kiss. We see there's a lot of love between Day and his family, but that they don't have a lot of money, like I mentioned. Yuri is in love with her best friend, Juliana. We find out that the fake relationship is because she doesn't want to tell her parents that she is queer. While walking to school, Day finds out that Yuri is queer and with Juliana, but that that is why Day is there. He never understood why the relationship was fake, but at this point he does find out the truth, and Yuri is really upset about it, really wants to keep it a secret from her parents and from everybody because her family has just, such high status and is in the spotlight. I think she feels that it would ruin her parents' reputation in the world. So we do also get to meet Juliana, and she sneaks into the school to see Yuri, but she's being sent away by her parents because she said, I can't be here. They kind of found out I need to go away for a while. This distraction, though, with Day is working with the parents. So she said, I'll be back soon. Kitty's teacher has signed her up for a tutor because she's failing English. And we kind of get this vibe, this Professor Lee is really negative, and he just it's like he eats lemons for breakfast.
Is that how you describe him?
Yes, he is a sourpuss.
Okay.
I don't know. We don't know his story yet. And we do eventually, more comes out about this character in this TV show. So stay tuned about Professor Lee. But basically, he's failing Kitty. Kitty has earned the nickname the Portland Stalker, and she's having a hard time making friends. So again, she's feeling really lonely here. The Portland Stalker because she came all the way for a guy who's already dating somebody else. She also tries to set up Florian and Q because she can see that there's a budding romance between them and that, Q likes this guy, Florian, but he just doesn't have the nerve to get up. So we kind of see some fun there with Kitty trying to, match make other people. Kitty goes to tutoring, and guess who ends up being her tutor? Day. Day tutors for extra money. One of Yuri's friends shows up. Then we find out at the end of this episode when Kitty is talking to Q, Kitty drops the photo album from her mom and finds a hospital bracelet in it. The hospital bracelet is Eve's, which is her mother, and it says that she gave birth to a baby boy.
Dun dun dun.
Q shock.
So, and the bracelet was from here in South Korea. So presumably before she moved to the United States, she had a kid here in South Korea who we assume got adopted.
Yes, we do find out. Well, we find out in the next episode, but I can say it now.
Just jump into the next episode.
Sure.
Because then I've got a few things about stuff.
So we do find out that the baby was adopted to an Australian family, and it just so happens that there is an Australian teacher that starts at the school that year who's Australian, who's around the same age, born in 1993, and is very just interested in finding out all things about KISS. Kitty gets kicked out of her dorm room and assigned a new dorm and roommate, and the roommate is awful and a gamer. Not one goes with the other, but awful and a gamer.
Yeah.
Q, one of Day's friends, but has really become friends with Kitty, is the president of the outdoors club. And so they go on a hike, and it's supposed to be a chance for Day to talk to Kitty, but Day's roommate calls Yuri. Minho calls Yuri and says, Kitty's going to be there. So she comes along too. The whole clan is together. Kitty takes a photo of Day and Yuri at the top of the mountain for them and sees in the background the hospital that her mom had the baby at, and she rushes over there. She literally just leaves the hike and just pieces out and goes. I guess clearly she knows where she's going now. She goes into the hospital and breaks into the records room by matching two of the hospital workers and finds exactly what she's looking for.
Can I say,
records. There's no way this would happen.
Such an annoying subplot that Kitty is like, I'm the best matchmaker. I'm gonna match people up, and that's my thing. That's my special gift.
I think it's charming.
Oh, I thought it was so annoying.
Really?
She sees a random nurse, and she's like, oh my god. She's watching the nurse look at the janitor and I'm gonna hook them up, and that's how she breaks into a room in the hospital, because she hooked up the nurse and janitor.
The reason for doing it, I thought, was like intelligent. a good idea for her to break into it. The fact that she got away with it and like broke in was ridiculous.
They tee it up like it's this magical power, like she's the worst Avenger. She's like, hey, what do you do? Oh, I can go invisible. What do you do? I just matchmake people.
Matchmake people and get my way.
Yeah, like what?
So she does get caught by security, by a doctor, and then security comes and brings her out. And the Australian teacher, that's who she calls to come and help her get out of jail, I guess. So she's released, and they are walking back to Kiss, and it kind of dawns on Kitty that, oh my God, I think this is the guy. Like, I think Alex is my brother. So back at the boys' dorm, Minho tells Day that Kitty's roommate has been videotaping her while she sleeps. And they tell her, like, Day and his roommates tell, like, you need to move out of there, but there's no other rooms available. So she ends up moving back in with the boys.
She's taking her old room back. Here's the thing. Kitty randomly goes to South Korea to connect with her heritage. Then randomly she finds out she has a long-lost sibling who also just so happened to, if it is actually Professor Alex, he also just randomly showed up at Kiss to also revisit like his, culture.
To meet his parents, I think.
It's a little bit far-fetched.
I like that, though.
With that said, it does happen. Ladies and gentlemen, this ridiculous serendipitousness of this plot, it occurs, and I've got multiple stories. So here are your wildest and zaniest.
This is real?
Real life lost sibling stories.
Oh my God, I love this.
October 5th, 1985, Christine Talladay gave birth to a boy whom she planned to give up since she wasn't ready to be a single mother at the time. Years later, she would get married and have 2 more children. When the boy was adopted, he was given the name Steve Flegg. When Flegg turned 18, he began looking for his mother, who had left the adoption records open in case the child ever wanted to contact her. However, he couldn't find any record of her, and his life, as lives tend to do, continued on until he was 20. He started working at this Lowe's in Grand Rapids, Michigan, as a delivery truck driver. At some point around now, he realized that he was spelling Talladay with without an extra A. Like you could Tallady or Talladay. And once he spit that into, like, I guess the records, he realized that Christine Talladay was a cashier at that exact same Lowe's.
They've been working together?
They were working together, Sarah.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Did they meet?
Well, of course, yeah. They met up and yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? I've got a few more for you.
I like them. Keep going.
Jordan Dickerson. I shouldn't have laughed at that.
I was going to say, how old are you?
I coughed, and then the cough made it sound like it was more ridiculous than it was. Jordan Dickerson was adopted at 3 months and grew up in Washington, D.C. In 2012, she was 17 and joined the track team for the first time at a track meet in January 2013. Dickerson's friends noticed that there was another young woman from a different school who looked just like her. Eventually, the girls talked at the meet and exchanged phone numbers. Later that night, they spoke on the phone, and Dickerson told this person's last name is Robin Jeter. I guess she realized that was her biological family's name was Jeter. So it was Jordan who was aware that, like, my family's name is Jeter. Robin, the other girl, had nobody ever told her that she had a sister out there in the world.
Whoa.
And they just randomly met up at
That's crazy.
Right? And now this last one's wild.
Okay.
35 years ago, a troubled teenager living in Tampa, Florida, named Leslie Parker, first gave birth to a girl. A year later, she gave birth to another girl, and both were given up for adoption. Okay. The elder daughter was named Lizzie Valverde and grew up in New Jersey. The second daughter was named Katie Olson. She grew up in Florida and then later in Iowa. Around the age of 30, both of them moved to New York City. Both of them enrolled in Columbia University, both of them specifically for general studies. Once they enrolled, the two sisters signed up for the same literary reporting class.
Wow.
At the beginning of class in January 2013, the instructor had the students introduce themselves, and Valverde explained that she was adopted and that she was from Florida, and she kind of gave her story. And Olson knew immediately, like, I guess she had heard a rough story of, like, yeah, you've got a sister. She grew up in Florida, blah, blah, blah. So Olson realized immediately, like, that's my sibling. Right
no
there.
way.
Isn't that crazy?
That is wild. You know what, though? I've heard because people are getting, the 23andMe or the Ancestry, like the swabs done.
Totally.
There's a lot of people finding out that they have other siblings, or that the siblings they grew up with aren't even their siblings, and that their mom had it like a different, or that their parent, like, it's crazy the stories I've heard of people that I know that have found out that they have other siblings, or that their dad, wasn't their dad and it was somebody else. And like all these secrets that have gone to the grave, or, their grandparents have kept till they've died and things like that. Or even that they're living and they still deny.
Totally.
Like all these secrets that they never wanted to get out are getting out because of these DNA tests. It's wild.
But all those stories to say that, as far-fetched as this ExoKitty premise sounds, it's not as crazy as some actual real-life stories. So this can happen.
That is cool. I mean, that's crazy. So we're at episode 5.
Here we go.
To be honest. It's Chuseok.
Good
which
job,
I hope
Sarah.
I say that correctly. And everyone is leaving for the weekend to spend time with their family. It's like, it's a time where they get to spend time together on the weekend. I think it's kind of like a long weekend for them too. Holiday, they spend time with family, friends, and like they share meals together. Kitty doesn't have anyone to spend the weekend with, so she decides that after speaking with her potential brother Alex, that she's going to have and throw a Friendsgiving for all of the expats staying on campus for the weekend. She also, this coincides with finding out more about Professor Lee. She also gets her first F in English, so she's super bummed about that. Minho runs into Kitty at the grocery store, and he agrees to help her make the dinner for everybody. And at Yuri's house, they're all having breakfast, and her dad is still working and her mom is there and saying, she wants to spend time with her. Yuri brings up that, you know what, like, I don't even want to be here right now. You guys suck. And she leaves and she goes to spend Chuseok with Dae's family. Minho and Kitty, they do share a moment in this episode over cooking a meal together. And, Yuri does find out that Dae's mom did pass away. She kind of says, oh, these are for your mom. Like, she's going to love them. And Dae goes, my mom passed away 3 years ago. And it kind of goes to show that Yuri is just in it to help her. And she really doesn't care about Dae or what's going on in his life or how it affects his life. So at the event, at the dinner, Kitty, it's a hit. Everybody comes to this Friendsgiving that's still on campus. She gives a toast before eating, and it is really a great toast. She kind of says, thanks for everybody being here and how her mom was there. And at the dinner, Kitty gets to talk to Alex, the teacher, and says, oh, my mom passed away. And she's almost about to kind of get to the point of things. And we also find out that Professor Lee went to Kiss a really long time ago. And while talking to Alex, he says, this is, why I never had children. And I think at this point, Professor Lee is Alex's father, which is why Alex has been asking him so many questions. You kind of notice this over the first 5 episodes. As Yuri has a great dinner at Dae's place with his family. And as she's leaving, the house, a delivery guy stops by, and Yuri says, oh, you know what? Give it to me. I'll give it to Dae. And it's a note and a gift, and it's Kitty's mother's necklace. And Kitty is giving it back to Dae to say, like, I'm in it for the long haul. Like, I will wait for you to figure this out. Because she knows that it's all fake. Then we have this thing. I think this is like the funniest thing. Kitty puts a lot of lactose in the mashed potatoes that she makes, and it turns out that East Asian, a population of East Asian people have lactose intolerance. And Minho is heading on his big date with somebody very famous, and as he's walking there, he realizes he has to take a shit. We find out, that the mashed potatoes had lots of lactose in it. And Kitty gets a text message that interrupts her conversation with Alex. So she's almost about to say, like, hey, you're my brother. But she gets this SOS, and he's stuck in the bushes. And Kitty calls him Poopy Baby. And he tells her that, he's got to send the girl that he was supposed to go on a date with away, but keep her interested. So Kitty does a good job at that. After the event, Kitty confronts Alex, and he tells her that he knows that Lee is his father. And then Kitty says, yeah, our mother and Professor Lee, like, big bombshell dropped. Basically, Kitty's telling Alex that Eve, Song, and Professor Lee got together, and that those are Alex's parents. Boom.
I just realized who Professor Lee reminds me of. A little bit of Professor Snape from Harry Potter. You know, just
think?
dour, just very displeased with children. Like, why did you become a teacher? You seem to just dislike just flows from him. You know?
Well, I mean, Snape always wanted to be the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, and he never could be because Dumbledore never wanted him to be. Which, like, did we ever really find out the reason why he couldn't be?
I'm sure in the novels. You really, you took this into very deep water.
Sorry.
With Harry Potter. I was just kind of trying to simmer around the surface. Hey, vibes are similar. Professor Snape, Professor Lee.
I could see the vibes being similar. Sorry.
Sarah's like, well, you know.
Sorry.
Books 4 to 6 would dictate.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus. And that is our first 5 episodes of XO Kitty.
Yes. Okay, so I want to play like, not even a game. It's called like Iconic or Not.
Oh, yes.
I want to go through some TV rom-coms that have been around for a long time or for a short time. But I want you to tell me whether they're iconic or not and kind of why you think they're iconic or they're not.
I like this because like we said off the top, we do want to maybe dabble in rom-com series and shows.
Possibly, yes. Depends. I like, some of them are like 8 seasons long, but we'll see.
Hit me.
Okay, first off, we have XO Kitty. Iconic or not?
Well, I don't think we know yet. We're only 5 episodes in.
So far, based on 5 episodes.
TBA.
Okay. Emily in Paris?
Not.
What?
You know what? I haven't really watched it. I've just seen the reviews of how people feel about it. Maybe I got to watch it myself.
I think you do. I think you do have to watch
Sarah,
it. I think a lot of the criticism comes from that, like, when she goes to Paris, she really doesn't try to speak French.
You have such an obnoxious grin on your face right now. You love it, don't you?
I do love it so much.
Let's move on. What else?
Okay. The Mindy Project.
Oh, that's close to iconic.
Oh,
okay.
I think it's iconic.
Now we're getting into a case could be made. I'm going to say not, but I'm going to say it's very close.
Oh, no, it is iconic because I never wanted it to stop.
Oh, Mindy Project was great.
So good, so good. Sex in the City.
That's of course iconic.
It is iconic.
How many seasons? And now
remember.
there was a movie.
There is, and now there's even a spin-off series.
Another series. Did you hear about the drama about that?
I was gonna say so much drama around the And Just Like That.
Kim Cattrall, who will refuse to be on And Just Like That. She doesn't want to rejoin the rest of the girls. Her new series on Netflix actually is going to drop the exact same day as season 2 of And Just Like That.
So there was like lots of, I think, mixed reviews about And Just Like That. People, I think, either really liked it or they really just didn't like it. I don't know. It's hard to revamp a series like that, I think. I don't know. I never watched Sex and the City and I never watched And Just Like That. Okay.
How about this? The original, iconic. And Just Like That, TBA.
All right. Gilmore Girls. This is like, I don't know. I put this one in there for you because you deem it a TV rom-com.
Yeah, Sarah and I were arguing about this earlier before we jumped on. That's definitely a rom-com.
I think there's aspects of the rom-com, but I really do think it's like a coming of age for Rory and Lorelai as like their relationship, but also just growing up.
Yeah. To All the Boys is also a coming of age story for Lara Jean, but there's also romance.
There's romance.
How many are you team Jesse or team Luke?
Oh, Jesse.
Wait, Luke
Not
is the
Luke.
diner guy,
Luke,
right?
I'm also team Luke.
Luke's the diner guy.
Yes.
Jesse's Milo.
His nephew.
Who's the other guy who went on to like fight ghosts and shit?
Oh, Jared Padalecki. Oh my god. It's just because you asked me.
It's not Supernatural, right?
Yes, it is Supernatural.
Oh, it is Supernatural. Yeah. So he's like fighting zombies and shit.
Oh my god, I can't remember his name. But there was also Logan.
Right. Okay, Logan, Jesse. How many love interests did we just say?
Okay, a few.
It's a rom-com.
There's no comedy. It's a drama. It's a dramedy.
You don't find
no, it's
Gilmore
not a dramedy.
Girls
It's
funny?
not funny. Oh, I do find it funny.
You just said dramedy.
I know.
Do you know what the second half of dramedy is? Drama comedy. Like, what are you saying?
I'm having a really hard time today. Okay, fine. We'll give it to you, but it is iconic. Gilmore Girls in general is iconic.
Regardless.
Okay, Modern Love.
Yeah, like I think if there is interest in us doing series, then I think Modern Love would be my suggestion for a next because I think that would be right in my wheelhouse.
How I Met Your Mother.
Yes, How I Met Your Mother is a rom-com series, first of all.
I like how you didn't do iconic or not.
Yeah, that's, oh man, it's iconic.
People were pissed about the ending.
As long as we acknowledge that they fumbled the bag at the end.
Right. So I agree that it is iconic. Okay, Desperate Housewives, the TV series.
Yeah, that's iconic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jane the Virgin.
No.
Oh, I think that's iconic.
No.
I love it. Okay,
iconic.
and have you ever seen Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
No.
Okay, people loved it. I watched the first season and then it was one of those shows that were still showing, so like I had to wait till it came out.
Is Friends a rom-com sitcom?
I have lots of things wrong with there's lots of
Wow.
like Ross and Rachel toxic.
Oh,
But yes,
sure.
it could be. It could be a rom-com. Yes. I think it's like at the top. Yeah, I think so.
Yes. Yes, I think it is too.
It's iconic.
Locked it in, and it's iconic.
It is.
Boom, done. So this has been part 1 of the rom-com rewind of XO Kitty. I think we're gonna do like a pretty hit movie next week just to break these two up, and then part 2 will be on the way. So if you've enjoyed this, leave us a DM. We really stepping a little bit outside of the comfort zone here.
Yes, we are. Yeah, and we kind of want to see what you guys think about it. Do you like it? Do you not? Are you kind of like in between? You're like, oh, I could ride with it, Let us know.
Let us know if you'll ride with it.
Thanks for listening.